Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I request all of you to mute yourself and let's just wait for a minute or two so that everyone can join in. I hope I'm audible to each one of you. Great. So let's just start this session for today, and we have around 100 people joining in. So let me just begin with the introduction for the guest who I have today, who's a very close friend of mine. And he works, Himanshu Deora is the guest speaker today, and he works for ZSIP, which is one of the most renowned IPR firms in India, which serves clients from various countries around the world, as well as has a lot of Indian clients too. Just a moment. Yeah. So let me just start with a brief description about Himanshu. So Himanshu is born and brought up in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, and he pursued his law degree from Bharati Vidyapeeth, New Law College, Pune. After he completed his degree in 2013, BBA LLP, he joined ZSIP directly and started handling prosecution as well as litigation work pertaining to IPR issues. After around 2 years, he completely moved to the litigation team, and presently he's leading the litigation team and is also a senior associate with ZSIP. He regularly appears before the judicial and quasi-judicial forums, including Supreme Court of India, High Court, District Courts, Trademark Registry, IPAB, and Customs Office. He has a proven track record of successful litigation cases covering all subjects of IPR, and he has attended international sessions like International Bar Association 2019 conference in South Korea and International Trademark Association conference in Barcelona, Spain in 2019. So to begin with, I'll request Himanshu to guide us all as to what are the different perspectives of being an IPR litigator. Like, what are the different roles that an IPR litigator gets into? Like, what are the different cases that they deal with?
Coming to that question, I just wanted to briefly give details about the way IPR firms, as far as I know, the IPR firms in India work. Mm-hmm. So the generally the firms have a different team structure. There will be the division between the litigation part of the work. Then they will have separate teams for prosecution work, and then they will have separate team for the criminal work, which includes criminal enforcement, where the raids are conducted through police. And even in the prosecution team as well, there is further division between the patent team, because generally the patent attorneys are from the technical background, and in the other works, the teams are trademark, the teams handling trademark matters and copyright work, design work. So depending upon the work requirements, the firms generally divide their teams. So this is the general division, and in fact there are firms who further divide the work between further divide the work in their teams. It's like even in the trademark process, there are a lot of steps from filing application until registration. So there will be teams who is handling only the opposition proceedings. It is like, if I file an application, if somebody has an objection to that trademark, he can file an opposition. So once an opposition is filed by any third party, interested party, then the entire proceedings goes on before the trademark registry, and the registrar is supposed to check whether the applicant has superior rights or the opponent has superior rights on a particular trademark. So then once the trademark is registered, then there is a separate team who is handling the renewal as well, because as per the Indian trademark law, registration is granted for 10 years. So after every 10 years, you are supposed to renew the trademark. So based on that, there are different team divisions in a firm. So if anybody asks me about the job opportunities in IPR field, we can broadly divide into the litigation team, the prosecution team. Under the prosecution team, there may be patent team as well as the other than patent works, because for patent generally the firms prefer a person who is having a technical qualification, and there is a requirement of the qualifying a patent agent exam. So that is a separate field altogether. And as patent involves a lot of technical aspects where you are supposed to see the inventions, what all inventive steps are involved. For that purpose, merely by having a law degree may not be sufficient for the purpose of securing registration. However, when it comes to litigating a patent litigation, then the legal aspects can definitely be handled by a lawyer. But if a person is having a technical qualification as well as the legal understanding with regard to IPR and the basics procedural laws, then he is definitely going to have a upper hand when he's dealing with the patent cases. And apart from that, there is a scope of there can be a field of teaching as well. It has there has been this is a very growing field, so a lot of universities they specifically provide courses. It is included even in the curriculum as well, and there are a lot of diploma courses as well, so one can join as a teaching faculty as well. And there can be drafting IP documents as well. That is also some because there may be some person who is they may not be interested in going to court and the general litigation work. So the IP drafting is also something they can consider.
Right. Great. So my next question to you, Himanshu, just a moment. I think the chat option is now enabled for everyone, and they can simply write in their introductions in the chat.
Yeah. So before.
So the next question I have for you is, Himanshu, is that how intellectual property is a wise choice, like as a career option? Like, how do you rate it? I mean, you obviously rate it very high. That's why you joined that in the beginning. But for our learners, like people out there in the, this meeting, how do you suggest like IPR as a career option for them?
Yes. Before answering to that question, I just wanted to share my personal thought about it. When I immediately came out of college and I was looking for career opportunities, I'll be very honest that that point of time I was not very aware about what all fields, what all work is going to be included in the IPR the firms handling IPR work. At that point of time, what basic information I had is one, this is very growing field, and another aspect was I did my HSC in biology, so I thought that it is going to help me in some manner.
Right.
However, when I joined this field, it is not that it is connected in all the aspects. There will definitely be general civil procedure and all legal aspects which are there, which is applicable to all other laws as well. And yes, and coming back to your specific question, why IPR? How IPR is a good field? So yeah, the IP, it is a very growing field in India because other than metro cities, I can still say that the business houses and companies who are in metro cities, they are taking IP really serious. Otherwise, there is still a lot of scope in other cities in India, because people generally think that why do I need to protect my trademark, because my sales are still increasing. Consumers know me, they buy my products because they are aware about me. Why do I need to spend money on the registrations and all of those aspects? But I think they have also gradually realized the importance of IP, and the main reason why IP is a growing field is because there have been so much foreign investments in India. There are, the foreign companies, they even before making any investment or launching any product, they always look for the IP issues which they may face. So India being a growing economy and having so much foreign investment, it is definitely continue to grow further. It is a very niche field, and it has a foreign exposure as well. There may be students who are looking for such kind of opportunities where they can have the chance to go abroad, have foreign clients, and all of these fancy things. So yes, these are there in the IP field, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't require any efforts, and you can easily make clients, or you can easily deliver uh, to their expectations. In fact, because mostly the Indian IP firms have their major revenue is because of the foreign clients. So because of that aspect, the level of expectations and level of professionalism from the lawyers is very high. They have to be very efficient, very prompt. It's as everybody knows, it's a very general tendency in India where the lawyer thinks that I am a lawyer. The client is supposed to ask me 5 times, then I'm going to give any advice or response. So or if any student who is thinking that he's that kind of perception is if he's having about the legal field, then I would certainly say he should not consider IP as a career, because there is going to be the clients are going to expect high level of professionalism, promptness, and you can never say that today I'm busy, and all of these things which are very common in litigation.
Right.
As is said that litigation lawyers, even if they are on vacation, they during the vacation also they plan for the post vacation work.
Right.
So especially for, if you ask me for IP litigation, so during vacation also you can try to connect with your clients and see what all opportunities you can create. And yes, these are my some of the thoughts for consideration. Yeah.
Right. That's a great overview, I believe, for everyone watching us for the IPR, and everyone who's been interested in the IPR field. That gives them a good overview about what is the kind of work and how wise it is a choice to join this IPR field. So the next question would be, that IPR has many facets to it, like trademark laws, patent laws, copyright laws, media and entertainment laws, pharmaceuticals, fashion laws, and etc. So how are these areas different from each other? Like, and what are the different kinds of skills that are required to pursue these different areas? Uh, is that what I want to? I mean, is that what my question is? That how are these different areas, like pharmaceutical industry, like media and entertainment, technology law, and all those things that are different areas of the IP industry, how are they different from each other? And how, I mean, what are different skills required for all of this? Patent, for sure, as I think I'm aware that you need to have like a science background to pursue patent, otherwise you can't do it. But what are the other prerequisites and all those things?
Yes. So as you rightly pointed out, as far as the patent field is concerned, it is always better, as I said, if you want to go for a patent prosecution work where you are going to make a draft, you are going to draft a patent document, then it is always better that you have a technical qualification. In fact, that is a requirement as well, so that you can understand the technical aspects. So that is with the patent field. And if you talk about the other like trademark, copyright, design, so for these fields, the technical aspect may not be required to that extent, but still these will require the basic understanding of the subject and the IP provisions. And it is generally said about the IP field is it is very instinct based. If we talk about the trademark, so you have to be constantly following the various judgments which are being passed by the court, and there are various principles in trademark law which are as an example, there is a principle which says that when you are comparing with two trademarks, then you are supposed to compare the trademarks as a whole to identify whether they are similar or not. This is one principle. There is another principle which says anti-dissection rule. So it says while comparing, you can pick the prominent portion of a trademark and then you can compare. So there are two principles. They are exactly contradictory to each other. So therefore, it becomes a very instinct based, and you are supposed to see. It becomes very. It becomes a subject matter of interpretation and how you explain it before the judge or the registrar, that how a particular principle is applicable to your case. So you need to have a good the understanding of these concepts, and you need to constantly follow the judgments which are being passed by the court. And as IP field is growing, and there are a lot of aspects which are still require the reference to foreign jurisprudence. So you are supposed to see the foreign judgments as well on those aspects, like the aspects of the different trademarks, like sound can also qualify as a trademark, color trademarks. When there is no specific case laws in India, they look for the foreign jurisprudence on those aspects. So you should be aware about those precedents. You are supposed to follow them, read. This is an aspect which is required for trademark, and similarly for copyright and design as well. And I believe this is a very the common requirement for other legal fields as well, because you always have to be very updated what all judgments are coming, what all, if there is any change or some notifications which are being issued by the government. And if we talk about the media and entertainment, and the skill set for which, as the basic understanding of the copyright law is certainly required, because media and entertainment industries mostly involve the copyright issues regarding the movies, songs, and all of those aspects. And one suggestion, with one advice which I can provide is, while you are deciding which particular stream you need to go for, then maybe you can think about, you can evaluate yourself whether you like any fashion field and all of these fashion brands, you like following movies, you are very well aware about the industry, then maybe you can choose this particular aspect of IP field as your career. And if if the fashion attracts you more, because it will require constant the social networking, you are connected with the people who are in the industry, which all movies are coming, you are following all the issues which are being faced by them, plagiarism and all of those aspects. And yes, I think.
Right. So
Yes.
what about this particular skills that one need to have? Like let's, for example, say the media and entertainment field. So what are the required skills for a person to, practice IP law in the media and entertainment field? Like what as per you should be a prerequisite? Like what do you suggest?
Okay, if you ask me about media and entertainment, the person should be well aware about the field, what all new movies and which are being coming. He should follow all of those things, and he need to have constant touch with the movie production houses and their legal teams regularly. And he should be he needs to be very professional as far as he's maintaining his kind of communication with the
Right.
persons in the industry, and how he's maintaining himself, how how he's maintaining his social media platforms, his social media, the profiles, because these days online visibility is, really helps.
Right.
So these are the things which can be, he should be very well aware about the copyright issues which are there, if there are any case laws.
Right.
Yes, these are some of the suggestions. Yes.
Great. So my next question to you, Himanshu, would be: what are the changes do you anticipate in the nearby future in the IPR industry, especially after this coronavirus pandemic? And what is the scope of growth like in the industry, in the IPR industry?
I think this COVID-19 pandemic is going to impact all fields, be it legal field, businesses, everyone,
Right.
and it is going to have a long-lasting impact. I think for next 1 or 2 years as well, because it has seriously impacted the economy not only of India, in
Right.
fact the global economy as well. It is not that this is the issue which is being faced only by India. It's a global concern, having this disease having spread in so many countries.
Right.
So as far as IP field is concerned, if we talk about, we can divide this in two categories. As far as essential commodities are concerned, they are going to take their IP. They will have to take their IP rights and IP issues very seriously, because of this growing demand in the essential commodities field. There will be newcomers in the market,
Mm-hmm.
and those newcomers are going to while launching new product, they are going to somehow take advantage of the existing companies and brands. So these essential commodity companies, they have to be really careful. If somebody is making any fake products and copying their brand, they have to stop them immediately, because this is a time where all business houses, all MSMEs, and
Right.
the new companies, they will be looking, because everybody must be thinking that essential commodity, this is something, as the government has also issued the revised guidelines, wherein the essential commodity, which has already been allowed to be run as a business, but there have been further relaxation in some of the field. So the companies might going to think that we also should focus on these kind of activities, so they can also do business during the lockdown phase as well, and during these restrictions imposed by the government. So during this time, if some newcomer is the entering the field, and if he tries to copy your brand or your trademarks, you are supposed to stop them immediately, because if they
Right.
earn profit for some time, then they are going to think it as a lucrative the business, so they are going to expand their business further. So as far as essential commodities are concerned, I think they should continue investing in their IP enforcement aspects. In any case, they are doing good business, I suppose, so they should not
Right.
have any issues with regard to segregating budgets for their IP enforcement and IP registration aspects. And in fact,
Right.
whenever they launch any new product or some new medicine, they are supposed to take seek IP protection as well. So
Right.
for the essential commodity, this is going to go really well. As far as non essential services are concerned, I think it is going to hit IP field for some time, because in general, IP is considered as a luxury litigation, because
Mm-hmm.
this is not something if a company who is thinking that if there is there is a shoe manufacturer, if he was thinking to stop some company who was making some so using some similar trademark, they may think that let's keep this matter on hold for 6 months, because there is no business at all. In any case, even the counterfeiter may also not be doing any business.
Mm-hmm.
So for non-essential commodities, I think it is going to have a immediate effect is going to be, it is going to have a negative impact. However, if we look at the long-term plan, long-term impact, I think it is going to help grow the field, because it is going to increase the foreign investments in India, as we all must have seen in the news, because of this virus being spread. The initial point being China. The global feel is that they have started to hate the Chinese products, and there is a general dislike for the Chinese product and Chinese market. So
Correct.
this is going to attract a lot of foreign companies to invest in India. So this is going to be a really good opportunities, and I'm sure government is trying for that they can attract those companies to invest in India, which is going to impact our help our economy to grow as well. So
Right.
the immediate impact may be negative, but over a period of time, when we attract those foreign investments in India, those foreign companies are going to invest, and the foreign companies are as they are already very brand conscious, and they always look for their IP protection. They never bear any kind of counterfeiting and all of these kind of issues. So that way it is going to help. And another thought which I have on this is this is a health emergency. So because of this, everybody is going to be health conscious after this. Even this situation gets better, everybody is going to whenever they go to buy any, especially FMCG product, they are going to think whether it's of good quality or not. There is going to be a it's a subconscious impact on their thought process that
You can say, right? It's a
yes. So they are going to be
cycle.
brand conscious. They are going to think that if I am buying a particular product, whether it is of good quality or not. So all of these aspects add value to the brand consciousness.
Right.
So it is it increases the value of the brand.
Right. And also,
so all of Yes. So all of these, things I personally believe going to help grow the IP field a lot. And apart from that, because of this lockdown for one or 2 months, currently for over 1 month, once the lockdown is lifted, all the business houses, the companies will be under a great pressure to the cover up the losses suffered by them during this phase. So when one person have some pressure to get something, he's inclined to not look for the the legal implications. So they may intentionally or unintentionally come within the purview of they are breaching the IP rights of some other companies. So because of this also, there is going to be an increase in the IP issues. That's what I believe. So it is going to have a mixed impact on the IP field, but overall it is going to, I hope, I firmly believe it is going to increase. Yes.
right. So there's a great scope of growth involved there. Okay,
Yes.
and like continuing the discussion, how we people from the legal fraternity can make best use of this opportunity of lockdown and become more valuable as a professional. But before you, answer this, I specifically, I'm not looking for skills there, but I want you to, emphasize more on things like personal brand building, building of a profile, increasing online presence. What is your say on that? Like, how much of that is going to happen now?
Yes, Mayur. So yeah, during this lockdown, most of the people, they are not having anything to do, and they are just sitting at home. And because of the this technological era, everybody is surfing the internet. The internet usage has grown exponentially, right?
Right.
So during this time, if you make your profile more attractive, I'm not asking you to advertise, as you may be aware that the Bar Council of India rules prohibits advertising by the lawyers. So I'm not at all suggesting that. I'm just saying that you can have a proper profile which gives information to the general public. You may share your views on subjects. So this may be helpful for the for the general public. So that is something you can work. You can make your social profiles better. You can write articles, and you can the most importantly, we are having so much time, we can maybe touch base with the client, because this is a very tough time for the clients as well. We can speak to them, we can try to understand their issues, and try to address them, try to build some kind of the emotional connect as well with the client, because
comfort them with the solution, maybe, like in a proper way.
yes. So that kind of those kind of things may be utilized during this time. As far as if you ask me for the students, I think there is a lot which can be done by the students, because this is a really good opportunity for them to learn. There are so many the online learning platforms. I must say the LawSikho, this portal itself is a really good portal, and really good portal for them to the learn new skills and develop and further enhance their any and understanding of any particular field. There are so many other articles available they can read, and update themselves. They can look for different streams, like if I'm an IP field, I may try to look for the other fields which are connected, like maybe data protection. So all of these new fields, we can try and try to gather information and expertise in other fields as well. Yes.
Right. That's what we have been recommending. First of all, thank you very much for your kind words for LawSikho. And that's what we have been doing too. Like, we've been motivating our students to write a lot of articles and to share them across with professionals like you, who can guide them better, maybe improve their writing skills and all those things. So for the next question that I have, like, you're a comparatively young lawyer. So what, according to you, Himanshu, are the common workplace challenges that young lawyers face in the initial years of their careers, and how can they overcome them in the effective manner?
Yes, Mayur.
Yeah.
So the common issues I'm going to the share based on my own experience with my juniors. These days it's a general tendency of the freshers and new students. They want to get anything very quickly. It's like they want to become an expert in maybe in 6 months, 1 year. So I think this kind of thought process needs to be changed, because the legal field, as it's a very common suggestion in legal field, is that for initial 10 years you only work hard, you get nothing, you're not paid much. Then for another 10 years you work hard, you paid as well, the equal to that hard work as well. And after 20 years you don't work, still you get paid good amount, right?
Right.
So those kind of principles, these things should be borne in mind by the newcomers and students, and they need to be more focused. It is not that when they are looking for a new job, my personal suggestion would be they need to look for a better mentor as well, who is and better office where they can develop their skills. If you are only going to look for money, it is I'm not sure. You may get a good office, you may get a good mentor, but ultimately after 4 years, 5 years, or down the line after 10 years, if you have a good knowledge, the money will definitely come. So this focus of freshers on money, I completely understand. Everybody is working for earning money and their livelihood, but it should not be the main focus of the students. They need to look for first build their knowledge and expertise. Then money can be secondary. This is one. Second, these days students are in fact, I'll share one experience. There has been a recent judgment by Justice Rajiv Sai Andlaw by Delhi High Court, where he categorically made remarks that the law students must be taught how to draft a plaint in the law schools, because these days people are not focusing on the drafting aspects, because whenever somebody think about the legal profession, they think that it is all about going to court, attending hearing, and arguing the matter. but that is not the complete the stream, which is complete aspects, all the aspects which is included in the, as an IPR litigation. You are supposed to have a good draft as well, because the presentation is only one aspect, and that comes with experience. When you spend some time in the profession, then you gradually develop it. It's a skill which can which cannot be developed in maybe 6 months or 1 year, because you don't know. You may be a good orator, but you need to understand at when a particular judge is asking a question, then in what manner you are supposed to answer to that. You have to see that what particular judge is the manner in which the judge is supposed to take your answers and all of those aspects. So that comes with the experience. However, as a fresher, I think they should focus on their drafting skills, because that is really important. They are the initial time. The technology is also an aspect, but I think the new generation is well equipped with that. That's a plus point for them, because they are so tech savvy. And as everybody must be aware, because of this lockdown, the physical hearings are not possible in the court. So even the Supreme Court has also issued guidelines regarding the video conferencing and the attending hearing through video conferencing and all of these technological measures. So as far as these aspects are concerned, the freshers are really well equipped with that, which is a plus point for them. But the basic homework is something which they are supposed to, I think, focus more. People are very enthusiastic about doing internships, but most of the times they choose internships only for the purpose of including that in their CV or their resume. That should not be their approach. So it happens that the freshers come for an interview, and then we ask them what all internships you have done. So when we look at their CV, they have done 7-8 internships, or maybe 10 internships per semester, one internship. But when we ask them what all they have done, they just say that they have been to court and they have observed the court proceedings. But if they are not aware about the the basic aspects, maybe like the basic civil procedural codes and basic rules and guidelines which are there, so
Right.
all of these aspects should be focused by them first. Because if the basics are good, then you will definitely become a good lawyer.
Right.
Yes, these are some of my suggestions for
Right.
considering. Yeah.
You have worked almost 7 years now for ZSIP, especially in the field of IPR litigation. Can you elaborate like how IPR litigation is different from civil litigation, like normal civil and criminal litigation?
Yes. So whenever we think about making a strategy in a IPR litigation matter, the 70 to 80% success of a matter depends upon the ex parte stage of the proceedings. So
Right.
when it is the stage when you file the suit and the matter is taken up without issuing notice to the other side, to the defendant. So on the first date itself, if you are able to convince the judge that you have a very good, strong prima facie case, and there is an apprehension that if the notice is issued to the other side, he may the remove the products or dispose of the products. And if you get an ex parte order, then you have won. Half the battle is already won. So this particular aspect, which is not there in general civil litigation, where you file the suit, your on the first date, your aim is only to get the matter admitted, and which is in general the matters are admitted and the notice is issued to the other side. But in IP field, you are supposed to make sure that you get ex parte order, because that they become really crucial. Because especially in case of counterfeiter and if an entity is making some fake products or infringing products, if you get an ex parte order, it is really important for you. Because if you get an ex parte order and the products are seized, it actually creates a pressure on the other side to come for the settlement table as well. Then you can negotiate the matter. You don't need to take they pursue the matter to the entire trial and all of those aspects. You file the matter, you get their product seized, they come for settlement, you ask them to sign an undertaking that they are not going to do it again, and the battle is won.
Right.
So this is one aspect which is really different. And apart from that, so the major difference is the initial stage. Then in IP, the 90% cases are solved at the interim stage itself. The main trials are generally the matters generally don't go for trial. So that is another difference. And apart from that, there have been recent changes as far as the new laws are concerned. The Commercial Courts Act has been implemented, which which has expedited the IP litigation process to a great extent. So these are some of the differences.
Great. So without, wasting any time now, I think it's already 6:55. So I'll ask people to raise their hands, and I'll unmute them because I think there is some problem with the chat option. Let people ask their questions, and then we can, you can answer all of them.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Good evening, sir. I am Sangeet Khamari from KIT, third year student, and I am just having a course on LawSikho as well in diploma in IPR, media and mass and media and entertainment. So my question is, I want to become an IP patent attorney. Sir, what is matlab, means what can I do for that?
Himanshu?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your question. So as I mentioned, you want to go for a patent field of IP, right?
Yes.
So currently, as you are doing a course, you can definitely pursue that. Apart from that, you can if you are not from a technical background, you can consider any technical qualification as well. There are a lot of courses on patent law where they teach you about a specific technical field. There are streams of like chemistry field is there, because there are some inventions related to chemistry. Then biological, then bioscience is there, then civil engineering is there. So you can consider those additional technical qualifications as well, because if you want to pursue the patent the career in patent as a draft in a prosecution team, you are supposed to know these technical you are supposed to have these technical qualifications as well. They are going to help you for better drafting skills.
Right. And we also have, like, Himanshu, in our diploma in IPR course, we also cover IPR litigation as an important part of the course that we have for diploma in IPR. So let me just unmute Markan Chauhan and he can ask his question. Yes, Markan, you can ask your question now.
Hello, Komal. Your name is Mayur, I think.
Right.
Hello, Himanshu.
Hi, Markan.
Okay, my name is Makrand.
Makrand, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Makrand.
It's okay. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm from Rohtak, and Rohtak is a small city in Haryana, and I did LLB last year from MDU Rohtak.
Okay.
But my internships have been just local. I have not done any internship with any esteemed lawyer or anything like that. And I was thinking of doing LLM in IPR through a college like Symbiosis, which is, I think, very widely known for the same.
Yes.
So is it a good idea to do this, or maybe I should just take online courses or diploma courses? What do you suggest?
So, if you ask me between two options, whether pursuing LLM from Symbiosis or some similar college, or doing online courses, the definitely the LLM option is going to be better in terms of gaining knowledge, because it is going to be a regular course, right? However, it may not be useful, you may not be time efficient option, because if you are pursuing an online course, you always have an option of joining some lawyer, and even maybe 5 days or 4 days a week you can work with the lawyer, so you can get a practical knowledge as well who is handling IP matters, and simultaneously you can do the online course, right? So that way online course is going to be much better.
Okay.
But if you want to specifically dedicate your time for a course, then obviously a full-time course might be better, because you will be able to give more attention to that. So my suggestion would be that. Yes.
So I am altogether of a different opinion here, Himanshu, and so I believe LLM should be pursued by people who want to go for the teaching field and gain more of theoretical knowledge. And instead, you should concentrate on something like which gives you the real skills. Those are required in the field to work in that field. For example, if you are looking to go for an IPR LLM, then there would not be any learning as to how the registration process is filed, how the objections are dealt with, how do you deal with different kind of matters like Himanshu deals on a daily basis for IPR litigation and all those things. Those things are never taught to you in an LLM course. Whereas, I mean, I am not suggesting that you go for any online course and offline course, but what I suggest is that you should go for something which teaches you all these skills, right? And we at LawSikho have such a course where we give you 2 exercises every week based around the real life situations that are there, and then we evaluate the same for you. So that's like working in a sandbox where you can actually make mistakes, and the evaluators guide you as to what are the particular mistakes that you made, and you deal with these situations in real life scenarios. So the I mean, practical training received at that end is far more and beyond imagination and the theoretical aspect of LLM. But if you are definitely like, if you're concentrating more on going to the teaching industry, then yes, an LLM from Symbiosis or anywhere else would like matter a lot to you. Until other than that, I don't think it's of any use, right?
I completely agree with you, Mayur.
Okay, but then if I just another, if you don't mind.
Yes,
If
yes.
if I want some opportunity in this company's use IP that you are working for, so what should I aspire to do till in these days? What do you suggest?
We will never ask you whether you have an LLM or not. We just want an LLB degree, and then your the basic understanding of the subject, and full focus for our training sessions, and the commitment for the assignments which are being given. So I'll be very honest with you. We may not ask for the LLM aspect, because the ultimately whether you have LLM or not, it is the practical the understanding of the subject, your enthusiasm for the the whatever assignments are given, whether you are taking interest, you are doing it properly or not. Because it's a very sad truth about our education system, because it's very theoretical. It is not having very practical experience and the practical aspects of the real life which are being faced, and which are being existing in the particular field. So yeah, if you want to apply for our firm, we will definitely look for, if you are if you have LLB, that's as far as qualification is concerned, that's enough for us. And then we are going to see your interest and your hard work. Yes.
And as you suggested me, Himanshu, that you'll be taking a few interns from our placement cell, right? So
sure.
LawSikho placement cell is one good way if you are a student with us to apply for an internship. And so let's go on with the next question from Satvinder Bakshi, who's there. Satvinder, I'll unmute you now and you can ask your question. Yeah. Satvinder.
Hi, Mayur. Hi, Himanshu. Hope you are doing good. So my question is that I'm a 35-year-old law student who started his first year with the 15 years of work ex, which is a non-law related experience, primarily into cybersecurity. So I was thinking that, as you rightly said, that dedications are required, and I've seen that there is a very less awareness among the traders artisans, small filmmakers about the copyright and IPR. So I was thinking that what is the best way to encourage and spread the knowledge related to IPR, because it is always considered that IPR lawyers and copyright lawyers are very expensive.
Himanshu, can you answer this?
Okay, so if you want to spread knowledge about the field, I agree with you that it is expensive, but there are lawyers who provide free assistance as well. Maybe you can approach them, and maybe you can also learn some basic aspects, and you can encourage them to the approach these kind of the lawyers who are providing free assistance. And apart from, there are so many online material which is available that can also be referred. But I will say for any specific legal issue, the lawyer must be required, because you can only understand the basics of a particular aspect. But for a proper advice, you are definitely supposed to approach a lawyer.
Right. So, the concluding part, Himanshu, for my question would be that there was one statement I read that if you're not interested in law, but law is always interested in you. So there are a lot of very good businessmen and filmmakers, small filmmakers. They are very ignorant about the copyright tax. So I was thinking from a perspective that I wanted to assist them so that they start getting aware that these are the laws, and so that the industry get mature. I mean, these the small filmmakers and the businessmen, and they start taking copyright and IPR seriously, because in India I've seen people are least bothered about the IPR and copyright laws.
Right.
You are absolutely right. That's what I was initially also mentioning, that they are not very brand conscious, and they are not thinking about the protection of their material. So as far as if you ask me about the efficient and cost effective manner of handling these aspects, maybe they can form some association, and on behalf of if there are 100 companies, the association can seek opinion from some lawyer, and the association can be a point of contact. So that way, the consolidated manner of approaching a lawyer may be cost effective for them. And these associations can also help them to sometimes there may be a situation where the one Indian company is breaching the IP of another company. These associations can try to have a amicable mechanism of solving their issues. All of those aspects can also be considered.
Right. So
Thank you, Manchu. Thanks for the valuable advice, and my question has been answered to the core.
Thank you. And one more thing I wanted to add. In fact, there are lawyers who do pro bono work, and so that is also something you can explore. And I also do pro bono work if it is within some conditions which are the necessary for my work profile. So
you can definitely connect with Himanshu over LinkedIn, Satwinder.
Sure. I'll do that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So next is C. Balaji, and now I'll unmute you to ask your question.
Hello, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir. This is C. Balaji. I'm calling from Chennai. So I'm a final year law student. I just had a question in my mind. Like I'm on the verge of completing my law degree, and I'm about to get enrolled. So the thing is, like this has been persisting in my mind. Like I eventually want to be into litigation. So like what I just want to know, like can I diversify my field? I just want to handle various issues, like not only just IPR. So like with respect to cybercrime or property disputes or anything like that. But like I've mainly done most of my internships not in IPR, I would say like under advocates. So, but I want to explore this field of IPR. So could you just let me know if I could do any specialized courses that would be fruitful in the long run?
I think we already answered this question with somebody's question that was put up a little ago. That there are a lot of courses that are available, but you should concentrate on courses which are dealing with practical skills and practical knowledge, and you get the chance to have hands-on experience on things. And that will be much better than simply doing some theoretical course or taking an LLM.
No, sir, not interested into doing an LLM because like I eventually want to be into litigation. So I don't want to be into academics. So,
right. So for that purpose, you should find some litigators like Himanshu is also there. You can apply for internships with them, and then you can get those practical learning which are required as a litigator. Because there are a lot of things like Himanshu mentioned correctly that you need to have like a good grasp of drafting of various applications and petitions and all those things before you can actually move ahead to that area.
Okay, and adding Mayur to Mayur's comments, I just wanted to say if you want to go for litigation, then you have two options. You can either join any individual practitioner or a law firm which is dealing in litigation matters. Then if you're looking for different kind of litigation, then your choice of workplace has to be accordingly, so that if the workplace is dealing in different kind of litigation matters, then you can have different kind of exposure. So it completely depends upon what kind of the workplace you choose after you complete your LLB.
Oh, thank you, sir. Sir, but I would also like to ask you, like in which city do I have much more of avenues, sir, available? So, in case I'm residing in Chennai, so like, can I expect much more of trademark cases over here, like, or else should I be moving to some other city?
So, if you ask me only about the trademark, then I think in India there are 5 trademark registries. One is in Delhi, Calcutta, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, and Chennai as well. However, if you look at the the number of filings and IP firms, then definitely you have better the available options in Delhi, because Delhi courts are more IP savvy, and even the clients also prefer Delhi lawyers as far as their IP issues are concerned. I'm not saying that the Bombay is not a good option, and the other cities, but definitely Delhi has a upper hand because of the proactiveness of even the courts as well, and the number of firms available. So it may be comparatively easier for you to find a job in Delhi. And the courts are also very proactive, so that is also something adds in creating more opportunities.
And even I have something to add here. I think today is the age of startups, and you have a lot of startups around everywhere. So it hardly matters which city you are in. You can any which ways travel to the nearest location for the trademark registry and get that work. There's a lot of work, and there are very few people, especially in small cities. But Chennai, not being a small city, already has a lot of opportunities. You just have to look up right to those opportunities, and then you can get it done. That's what
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
So next is from Nihal, and Nihal, I'll unmute you now to ask your question. Nihal.
Hi, Mayur and Himanshu.
Hi, Nihal.
I please accept my LinkedIn invitation. And secondly, what is now, can a trademark agent practice law, or is he prohibited from practicing by Bar Council of India?
If you want, yes. So if you want to practice as an advocate in court, you must be registered with the Bar Council of India. I don't think there is any any restriction on the trademark agent, but without registration with the Bar Council of India, you may not be able to practice as an advocate. So for that purpose, you will require an LLB degree as well. And in worst case scenario, if they say that because the practicing as an advocate in our country, it requires that you cannot associate yourself with any other organization, then you may have to surrender your certificate pertaining to trademark agent. However, if you are very keen, then go for LLB and then register yourself with Bar Council of India.
I hope that answers your question, Nihan.
Is that what you wanted to know, Nihan?
I think he's back on mute. So the next question, the next person is Ashish Jha. Ashish, I am unmuting you now, and you can ask your question.
Hello.
Yes, Ashish.
Hello.
Yes, Ashish.
Yes, sir. So my question is, like Himanshu sir said, that most of the IPR cases comes from MNCs and stuff. So my question is whether an individual lawyer has a good shot against big corporate entities in IPR.
So you are talking about from the point of view of parties, right?
From the point of view of an individual advocate practicing
Individual advocate.
Yes.
I don't think that it is going to matter whether you are an individual advocate or you are working in a firm when you are providing your services to an MNC as such. But there are definitely some impacts because the MNCs look for the firm because they have there is a more trust aspect involved, because the companies may think that if there is a firm, they may have a good team, and they are going to be more professional in handling the work and in responding to their queries. So as far as those aspects are concerned, it is definitely they are going to look for firms. But when it comes to delivering on a particular project, I don't think that it is only a firm is going to deliver on something and an individual lawyer cannot do.
Okay, thank you.
Great. So next question is, I think, from Kanan Soni, and now I'll unmute you. You can ask your question.
Hello.
Yeah, Kanan.
Good evening, sir. So my name is Kanan Soni. I am a final year LLB student. Actually, sir, I have done most of my internships in intellectual property, right? And that interests me so much that in future, that I am about to give my last semester right now, I want to be an IPR attorney. So my question is, sir, that as a fresher who wants to make one career in IPR, so one should go under a senior counsel or a specialized IP firm? That I want to know.
If you are looking for a career in IP, I would definitely suggest to go for law firm, because if you directly join a senior counsel's office, generally in senior counsel's office they receive the briefs from other counsels or firms. So the drafting and the drafting aspect, as well as the basic homework aspect, is not handled by the senior counsel's offices in general. So they are briefed by some the junior counsels or law firms. So as a fresher, yes.
Any IP firms that provide assessment internships right now? Because my experience has mostly included non-litigation IP, like drafting of registration of and filing of trademark design, and mostly modifying and altering of agreements and contracts relating to entertainment and media law. So is there any firms in IP which provide assessment internships?
I'm sure there are firms. I don't need to name here, but there are firms who are providing assessment internships as well. It is completely going to depend upon your performance, and whenever you are looking for opportunities in your initial time in IP field, you should in fact focus on firms which are handling basic registration process and the prosecution aspect. because the problem which is being faced by the lawyers which who directly start IP litigation, they may not be aware about the procedural aspects, and these aspects sometimes help in litigation as well. So maybe you can look for the prosecution firms in the initial time, and after working with the prosecution team for maybe 1 or 2 years. In fact, initially I myself worked with the prosecution team for 2 years, and then I completely moved to litigation team. So you can join some firm. You can request for initially. You can request for 1 month internship. During the internship, then you can try and speak to the HR and your immediate senior who is providing work. And I'm sure if you are sincere enough and working up to their expectations, they will certainly consider you to give opportunities of assessment internships as well.
Right, and it should be. I just add something there, that it is better to be upfront and real about like asking for, what should be done to get that internship and assessment internship. And you can upfrontly ask about what are the things that I need to do to make this internship and assessment internship. So you'll get a clearer answer on that.
Most firms do not come up close about the assessment internship thing. Actually, that's why I asked. I research also about it. They don't provide that in their website also, and that is also sometimes difficult to get.
My suggestion would be, whenever you are looking for these kind of opportunities, you should not be asking for something. You should simply say, give me an opportunity to work. All of these opportunities, assessment internships, and then later absorbing you into the firm, all of these things will definitely come if you try to be a good asset for the firm. So you don't need to ask for all of these things. You just need to join as an intern, look for an internship. Once you get the internship, then gradually these are not the questions you are supposed to ask on during the first initial days itself. That's what my suggestion would be.
Right.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So next is Deyasini. Now I'll unmute you. And let's just put this a little fast because we are already running past.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. So my question is, what are the qualifications do I need to have to become a patent attorney?
You need to have a technical degree.
Suppose,
BSc.
like I am belonging from the BSc LLP degree. I'm a third year BSc LLP student. So, like, what are the steps do I need to have, and how should I proceed with the things? Could you kindly just give me a brief about it, sir?
You need to have a specific technical degree like BSc, BTech, all of those degrees are required. Then you are supposed to sit for an exam which is called patent agent exam, which is being conducted by the registry. If you qualify that, then you become a patent agent, and you can sign the patent applications, and in your name the applications can be filed.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Merely law degree may not be enough.
Oh, okay. The BSc LLB degree would not be enough. Okay, sir. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you, sir.
So next is Bhumika Jain. Now.
Yeah, if one makes an application similar to Instagram with some additional features, will there be any infringement of any IP right?
Should I repeat this? It's a very broad question. It will depend upon what name he chooses for the application. And the overall features and all of those aspects will be considered. If he chooses a similar name, then it is going to be a trademark issue. And if the application itself is similar in terms of the presentation, then it may be a copyright issue.
And if there is any additional features included, even then there is an infringement of IP?
No, it will depend upon case to case basis. What are the additional features which are being included? If those features are substantial enough to make the new application different from the existing one, then I think the owner of new application may be able to justify that his application is different. So it will depend upon the presentation of the application. Merely making an application may not be an issue because everybody is free to make do similar business. So if I am into pharmaceutical, I cannot ask somebody else to not do pharmaceutical business. but it has to be seen whether, what kind of similarities are there in those two applications.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Then next is Dhanna Krishnan. Now I'll unmute you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you are audible.
So good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Am I audible?
Yes, Dana, good evening.
Sir, I have completed my BTech graduation and present I was doing LLB final year. So my question is, I have applied for patent agent exam. If I qualify that exam, what is the payment a good law firm gives to me, means offers to me? Means what kind of package they are going to give me? I'm a fresher, sir.
I think this is a very subjective question. It will depend upon what kind of firm you get a job with. However, I believe, at least looking at the industry standards, you must be able to make 50 or more than 50,000 per month. I think so.
For a fresher, they'll give that much, sir?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Actually, I was staying in Tirupati, but the problem is where I need to start my career. Means like as Chennai or Hyderabad.
I would suggest, for you, if you are in Tirupati, you can look for the logistical concerns for you. You can consider maybe Chennai, Bangalore, and Mumbai if possible. Otherwise, Chennai and Bangalore should be a good option for you for patent work.
Okay, so Hyderabad?
Yes, Hyderabad too, I think.
Hyderabad also is a good option, but the advantage Chennai and Bangalore may have is because in Chennai there is a registry as well, and in Bangalore comparatively, it's a I think it's a better. It's going to be because there are so many IP law firms over there in Bangalore. So comparatively, it is going to be a better option as compared to Hyderabad. But I'm not saying Hyderabad is also not a good option. It is definitely something you can consider.
Already I have done the internship in Hyderabad, sir. So I was thinking to join there itself, but it is not a large firm. It's a small one.
Dhanna, I think you can connect with Himanshu over LinkedIn and ask these questions there.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Balaji has again raised his hand, so I'll just unmute him. He's the last one left. Yes.
Sir, really sorry to disturb you at this juncture, but this is not a question as suppose, but just maybe a request. So, could you just tell us what are the virtual internships in IPR available for this time period?
You mean you want to know online internships available in this time period?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That mostly depends on firms to firms. A lot of firms are not offering any internships as of now, but at the same time, there are firms which are offering online internships. So you just need to find the right place and make an application to them. And if you're selected, then you can proceed further. So we can't take names here, for obvious reasons. All the firms are.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So I believe all for this session, and so we don't have a chat option here, but I always ask people to rate this session, and I would request again. So you can do that on the WhatsApp groups that are there for LawSikho webinars, and let us know how you felt about the session, and if required, we can have a session again with Himanshu. I would love to have him again, and with the plethora of knowledge that he has and 7 years of experience that he has, I think he's been delivering, he's delivered a lot of value to a lot of you here, including me especially, because I was also not knowing a lot about the IPR litigation. So thank you again. Thank you, Himanshu, for your time. And hope to see you again for another session.
Thank you, Mayur. Thank you so much for calling me, and the LawSikho team for organizing these nice webinars. It is my pleasure to attend this, and I'm happy to connect again if required.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Take care.